Competition. This episode we have the short Black Cat County circuit, Monza, Zandvoort, and Laguna Seca. This is probably going to be a super long episode. Actually, no. Well, this is going to be medium length. It's just a matter that this one is going to be really short. So... anyway, let's begin. You can see the scores on the left there. I already covered the current scores at the end of the previous episode, so let's just go into Black Cat County. We have arrived on the starting grid of Black Cat County, which should most likely be the longest race of the championship, as these laps, despite being the short circuit, these laps are still, I think, in the 3-minute range. So this will be almost a 10-minute long race. And, our points leader does not have the greatest grid spot. However, there are at least 2 vehicles ahead of it that they should be able to negotiate before the end of the race. At least 2. Thrasher is on the front row, and Stephanie's main points rival, Akira, is not that far ahead, but still ahead.
You very smart.
I do not wish to drive. Huh. Yeah, this game confuses me sometimes, dude. The pass is done well enough. Thrasher puts himself in the lead. And Natsuki's already down a place, perhaps not surprising, considering the fact that her vehicle seems to be really not competitive. I thought it was better than this. Stephanie already up a spot, as is Akira. And that's about to be 2 once he negotiates that other Toyota driver. Schwartz is not ready to give up the lead so easily. It's all kind of gotten a bit single file at this point. 2 Lotuses are too wide. That's about the only thing that's really, spreading apart right now. Are those two too wide? Everybody else is pretty much in an orderly fashion already. Never mind, now 2 Porsches are going too wide, as well as the 2 Lotuses still haven't broken it up. Taylor was hit by something. I have no idea by who. She's about to hit the sand for a minute, and has lost that spot. Schwartz wanted that move, but there was no space. Kira is now getting clear of Natsuki. The short gear ratios didn't really do much to keep her alongside that Supra. She's fighting back. Yeah. Yeah. 2 Lotuses have still not broken it up yet. As Schwartz makes another attempt at the lead, but still nothing. Stephanie's only gained the 1 spot, probably unable to pass anybody due to the fact that the 2 Lotuses haven't split yet. And Yoshiro is deposited down to last. Natsuki remained in points positions for 1 lap, but It was more than I expected, but now she'll probably fall out of them by the end of the straightaway. So there goes Stephanie, and don't give it too long, here comes the Ferrari and the RX-7. Ferrari actually got cut off, but Gino will still probably make that move at some point in the near future. Possibly right now. Yeah, right now. Top 5 are all pretty much under a blanket, but none of them really have the nerve to try and actually pass. The way the corners here are designed actually makes it so this isn't really the best track for the Cobra, with its tendency to slide out of corners. As you can kind of see, Thrasher's manhandling that thing through this kind of medium speed turn. Schwartz getting an opportunity from that, but Thrasher on the inside should be able to hold it along with his acceleration. However, now, you know, left-right syndrome means that it'll now instead go to the Porsche driver. I think the two Lotuses ran into each other based on that damage diagram there. I saw Stephanie had the briefest moment of thinking about it before realizing there's no room. Just Travis locks up somehow. And now Schwartz will just proceed to run away. I also didn't even occur to me that Akira had passed Travis. And it's a single file line going through here. And Thrasher tried taking it back to him in the hairpins, but nothing. So we are about to begin the last lap. Thrasher's got the acceleration advantage. Does he actually press the advantage though, or is it he just kind of pansy out? Now he's going full tilt. If Porsche brakes later, does he throw himself off? No, he doesn't, because the track is very wide there. And instead, Thrasher just leaves him open to Akira. But I don't think that will turn into anything? Question mark. While Riley is attempting to pass Travis, I think the more consistent power delivery and such, good job. But she still makes the pass, which is, I guess, the most important thing at the end of the day. Johnny Garrison passed Gino, probably down that straightaway. Natsuki managing to not quite be in last, but either way, she's still out of points, so she won't yet be able to break that streak. Travis and Riley still haven't figured this pass out yet. That'll do it though, when you put yourself in the sand. Right, we'll make another send on Travis. Also, Schwartz is gone. I don't know what developed that he just got such a huge lead, but he is out of here. As I previously stated, this track is like Imola in the way that the first half of Imola. It's very hard to confirm an overtake, because every time you get through a corner, you'd have the inside. If you're not done passing, now your opponent's got the inside. This section's a perfect example. Riley has the outside right now, but if Travis doesn't clear her, which Akira just basically allowed him to do easily, well now, example is Travis had the inside on Akira there, but now Akira has the inside on him. However, if Akira does not pull ahead, Travis will have... Actually, no, this is like the one time where it goes from a right hand to a right-hander. Porsche torque versus Supra horsepower, which one will come out on top here? Travis pushing all the way to the barrier to try and get that podium, but he does not get it. And this isn't quite the result that Stephanie wanted to see. The Lotuses really impeded her from getting very far. And that's the key. He holds on to 11th, but that's still not a point. It hasn't really gotten much closer between second and third. However, Akira is now the points leader, as we head into a track that I would say definitely favors the super drivers, Monza. He arrived at the very foggy starting grid of Monza, and it's the rich get richer, as Akira qualifies high and Stephanie is nowhere. It will be helpful though, as third in points, Travis Wild is starting on pole. It's a Porsche front row, but Stephanie didn't quite get the invite to the party. As Akira just like stalls on the line or something. I don't know what the heck that was. Travis got a pretty good jump on the other Porsche driver. The pitiful top speed of the 4C will not avail it here at all. Thrasher is looking for a move on Akira. The acceleration will help him get ahead, but now we reach a corner. And now Thrasher reaches a curb, so has to cancel that. With any luck, he can use Yoshiro as kind of a pick on Akira if he gets alongside him before he moves. Which he cannot do, so now he will be yeeted instead. And now he gets blocked by the Alpha itself, so... And now the 4C is diving late. It does have modern suspension accommodations, so it does have better cornering, I suppose. Another example of horsepower versus torque, the Corvette versus the Shelby. But neither one look very aggressive under braking right now. I'm just waiting for that 4C to just pile driver somebody into a corner after it gets passed. The way that maniac is braking right now, that's a recipe for disaster. You better get ahead, you better get far, Gemini, that's all I can say. Because I think this maniac is just gonna run somebody off the road. just about. You see, Natsuki's not having a great championship, but she's at least doing it quietly, but I really fear for anybody that passes Yoshiro at the wrong time. Travis isn't exactly gone, but he has no direct competition.
Surprise,
right now. Suddenly Akira, holy crap. I think it scared Thomas a little bit too, as he almost misses the chicane. Somehow Riley kept that position. I don't know how that was allowed to happen. Darius attempting to catch Thrasher, but not quite got the timing for it. The Ferrari GTO is a weird specimen in this championship. It does not have the power to overtake very easily, but it has just enough power. Well, okay, I mean, I guess when that's the car you're overtaking, it's a little easier. But he does have the power to stay ahead of people after he's passed them. Or if he started ahead of them, more often than not. We've kind of got three groups of battling cars. As we have, well, we had Thomas, Akira, and Riley. And then we had Thrasher and Darius going too wide, and then Gino was kind of nearby. I don't think Thrasher can hold on to that, and he just has to revert. And then there's everybody else back here who's just kind of there, fighting for the scraps of, like, 2 points. There's a Corvette. I don't think you have the facilities for that, Big Lotus. Now, apparently you do. The only person that can brake aggressively is that 4C. The other lightweight machine. Now Gemini has caught his fellow super driver. And now there's just even that much more pressure on Riley, as once again another jump scare overtake from Akira that does not produce results, and instead produces him being under pressure from his other Toyota driver. Thrasher will watch this with great interest, because if he catches one of them off guard, then he gets another place too, as Darius clears Akira. But nothing else doing up here. And then Gino's just kind of like, I'm relevant! As the 4C completely misses the racing surface, and there goes somebody else. And even Natsuki's kind of a part of this picture for 13th. So much the 4C is held up. These two Lotuses, the only other two cars besides that Celica with a lack of power. As he hits the final corner, it's going to be pretty much effortless here for Travis. And this is kind of the best case scenario for Stephanie. Never mind, as Akira might have just pulled a last second maneuver on the other Toyota, which I think he has. But even still, Akira still went down from where he started, and she did come away with a singular point. Never mind, no she did not, because Garrison took that last second. Gemini had the fastest lap, and then after the race, Thomas walked his brakes. Alright, so never mind. Akira is going to have a pretty hefty points lead. Never mind! Nope. Now it's tied between him and Travis. The other Porsches are a distant threat. But, as always, up until we get to the last, like, 2-3 races, a bad qualifying performance for Stephanie or for... no. If it's good for Stephanie or for Schwartz, and it isn't good for either of those two tied at 50, this can even out fast. Qualifying can even things back out. as the game has put Akira in dead last, and Travis is up in 7th. However, actually, yeah, the game's kind of messed around with the people up front being some of the slower cars, like Natsuki and Yoshiro, who have uncompetitive vehicles. However, we are at Zandvoort, and this track is not easy to overtake at. As nobody goes anywhere off the start. And Dedrick will take the point, will take the lead. He is vaguely relevant in the point standings right now, so that's a good thing for him if he wishes to contend with Travis, Akira, and Stephanie. Stephanie also didn't really get much of a break out of qualifying either. The corner's got a lot more banking in F1 2020. I know they changed the track, but I don't know how much. I don't know where or how much. This route doesn't look that different, as up there Thrasher makes a pass on, or attempts to, on Riley, but now that she has the inside, not gonna happen. Travis is not getting the traction he needs to enforce his points lead. I mean, he's gonna have it still as things stand right now, but not by much. His only real saving grace being the fact that his main points rival has literally not gotten anywhere, and nor has Stephanie. However, Dedrick is a problem that is going to emanate from this race, as he is going to end up being tied with Akira the way that things are going, and only what would be 4 points off of Travis. However, or not. I mean, I don't know. Corner's not done yet. Never mind, yeah, he did. And Thrasher will do it as well. Over to contact, Thrasher has spun. Oh dear. Oh. Getting a little bit argy-bargy here. Dedrick has checked out of this event. He's already at round 8 by now, I think. Despite the spin, Thrasher actually still in points. And he's effectively prevented anybody behind him from getting anything else, besides the 1 point. Not that anybody else is really getting much passing done before that. This actually means Natsuki might finally score, if only because Thrasher made a giant roadblock with his car. This track is really not all that different between here and F1 2020, to be dead honest. I could have sworn they changed the layout in some way, shape, or form, but in reality it doesn't really look like that. What is the deficit? Almost 8 seconds and we're only through 2 laps. What on earth? So here comes Thomas. Look at that move. It's just a Both the Lotuses are doing well, so that's kind of rare. I got by Yoshiro on the front straight. Won't be long before she gets Natsuki as well, I'm sure. This is a cluster up here, as Travis is attempting to pass Isabella, but I don't think he'll get it yet. Thomas is trying the outside on Gwozdowski. I feel like we've been here before at the Red Bull Ring with these two, just kind of constantly struggling to get ahead. He's going to try again. Still nothing, because now Eric is going to have the inside lane. And it's 2x2 behind him as well, as Isabella defends from Travis and Riley overtakes the Celica. Taylor tried on the outside of Thomas. That's ill-advised. So now the other Lotus driver is going to have a chance to attack. And Taylor's going to be off in the curbs, and that'll be a position for Isabella. And you just heard Travis the last second as I cut away the camera. And I think this race is going to be the new record holder for biggest win margin. As I'd expect to be about 16 seconds by the time that we're done here. Possibly more, depending on how much Eric is inconvenienced by Thomas. However, may not be after that. Don't know where he was going. I think he needs his GPS fixed. Riley just kind of intimidates Taylor out of her way. Well, Thrasher held that spot off from Gemini. Akira has made no overtakes, nor has Stephanie. Actually, she's gone down from the beginning. As I was right, finally, after 8 rounds, Natsuki will manage to more or less fluke her way into at least 2 points. But no more than that, as she might be overtaken by the Alfa Romeo there. Dedrick has crushed this race. His lap time is 3 seconds faster than anybody else on the track. Eric will, as per usual, use his Ferrari's defense abilities and will take second place. 15.5 seconds separated from Schwartz. As Travis Wild's going to make a big gain in the points battle. Another 6 points to his name over Akira and anybody else. It is 1 point in it between him and Dedrick. Akira's still there, Tom is still relevant, but Stephanie is kind of faded out as she has had a series of really not good qualifying performances. At long last, everybody has a point or more on the board. As we head into Monterey. And we have arrived on the starting grid of Laguna Seca. I don't know why I called it Monterey, I just kind of did. Well, this is what Akira and Stephanie need to get back into the championship fight, as the two of them are first and third. Their opponents in the championship are 9th and 11th. Tom was just kind of there, kind of Shelby in the middle. And you're looking at like an 8-minute long race here. So once again, Akira has problems off the line, so Thrasher is going to start getting away. Zedric is already up 2 spaces. Maybe not. Nope. Only 1. And Travis is up 2 places though. Sure, you'd best defend like your life depends on it if you want the home track victory. Because Akira definitely needs it right now. Just about as much as you might. Especially after the last race you just had where you spin-nolled. That's a bold move, Thomas. I mean, it worked, but only because Isabella Road drove off the track and you were just like, alright, it's free real estate. No, you just left her for the Porsches, but the road's not wide enough to do anything about it. Dietrich apparently heard that and took it as a challenge. Nothing really happening back here, and I don't expect much to happen back here because the 3 slowest cars, as far as raw lap time, are already in the back. Just by default here. I don't know how you walked up at that point, but here we are. Kira really could have tried something there in that last turn and just chose to not do that. Riley's looking to inconvenience the Porsche driver. As Eric is just off on an adventure back here as he took out one of the braking signs. This hasn't been Gina's best championship here, that's for sure. Whenever things at high revs and then shifts up, it sounds like one of those like toy Fisher-Price lawnmowers with all the little plastic balls that keep popping up and down as the thing moves. Like da 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 da. Doesn't sound anything like it. It sounds more like an AK-47 than a children's toy. But moving on. Very close between these 3. Ooh, almost too close it looks like. Gemini just slammed into Riley's car. Travis and Dietrich are still scoring, but not much. And, I mean, I guess the most important thing for Travis, particularly, is he's still ahead of Schwartz. It's important to role reversal as far as the Porsches are concerned from the last race, as Stephanie, who started nowhere near the front, while her other Porsche drivers did, now she starts at the front and the other 2 Porsches didn't. Akira's still kind of caught in that loop of just getting really close to Thrasher, but not at the right time to do anything about it. I think Thrasher just locked up again. This very primitive 50-some-year-old brake lines really giving him difficulty. Isabella with the fastest lap. I can't say I expected that. Not that she's doing a lot with it, as she's starting in 7th, and not really all that close to anyone else. As they head up the hill toward the corkscrew, Akira not close enough to do anything here. Gemini manages to not rear-end the Corvette. It's weird that she's the fastest car on the track, but honestly seems like she's lost time to Travis on... Yeah, definitely has on this lap. So I don't know what the game is on, but it's... I don't think that's the fastest car by any means. Yeah, now I think it's Travis, and that makes a little more sense. Yep. Again, he's not doing a ton with it either, but he runs the lap like that, and he can attempt to pass Isabella. All of the top 3 cars are running pretty much inseparable lap times. If I knew any better, I would say Akira is like letting him win at this point. I mean, this is still a big gain for him, considering where his competition is in, well, 3rd, kind of, and then 6th, 8th, and 9th. And Travis, the only one of those looking even remotely set to actually improve that standing in the next lap. As now it is Thomas getting a big lockup. The Cobra brakes are apparently being a pain here. Good lord. All over the place in his Cobra. Akira could not be any closer. He's not even social distancing at that point with how close he got to Thrasher's back end. This is a final chance, final corner, and nothing. So Thrasher will win at his home track. I think it's rigged. Still big gain for Akira as his main title competition gets 8th and 9th. And Dedrick honestly almost didn't even get 9th because Taylor was right behind him. That was quite processional. I gotta wait like an hour for the rest of the guys to get here. As we look now at the point standings, yeah, we got a fight going. 5 drivers within 10 points of one another. Any one of those top 6 really, or theoretically could take it, but I don't think anybody else can, as Thrasher's 20 points off. Riley is still pressing it. She's 16 out. It would take a miracle for her to even become relevant in the championship standings, because that would require at least 4 bad races from 4 of those bad, or 1 bad race for 4 of those drivers concurrently for her to get back in. And assume no, they can't be Akira. They have to be Akira and Travis to be 2 of them. Yeah, that is this episode done and dusted, and well, it's going to be a short episode to end it, as it's Magione Short Highlands. That race will be over in like literally 2 minutes. Brands Hatch GP and ending it at Valunga. Which wasn't a terribly entertaining race the last time we did that track at the club layout.